say?
I am Iron Man.
What's in the box?
Flash, I love you, but we only have 14 hours to save the Earth.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And here we go.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up.
Okay, it's that time of year again. Well, one of the 3 times a year when you get a new Marvel Studios movie, and this time, Marvel are pulling out all the stops and producing the first ever feature film starring a black superhero. Well, you know, if you don't count Blade, or Shaq Steele, or even Meteor Man. Oh boy, do you guys remember Meteor Man? Fuck, I loved Meteor Man. That was a great film. I mean, oh boy, this hasn't aged well. Oh wow, this really hasn't aged well. Oh man, this really hasn't aged well. But anyway, Black Panther, one of the best things to come out of Captain America Civil War, and believe me, there were many, kicks off the 2018 Road to Infinity War.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
So, after the events of Civil War, T'Challa, played by Chadwick Boseman, returns to the mysterious but technologically advanced African nation of Wakanda. Upon his arrival, he must deal with enemies from all different directions, challenges to his throne, threats of exposing Wakanda to the rest of the world, and preventing a potential world war.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all!
With a stellar cast and one of the best and ballsiest new directors out there, Black Panther kicks blockbuster season off early and sets a very high vibranium bar for all other films in 2018 to follow.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Play nice.
The film is naturally slick with special effects, costumes, action sequences, humor, and several other Marvel staples. However, Ryan Coogler still manages to put his own personal stamp on the film. Much like his previous movies, Coogler really moves the camera around each scene and gives a sense of the film's surrounding, whilst also delivering some great action sequences that are inspired by a lot of different African fighting styles. He delivers an incredibly competent superhero blockbuster action movie, yet still manages to make some very clear-cut comments about black culture, refugee debates, and building walls, which just feels like the kind of conversations that we should be having in this current political climate. It's never preachy or in your face, it's just matter of fact.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
But look, every Marvel fan will be piling into the cinema opening weekend. They don't need convincing to see Black Panther. But what about the fence-sitters and Marvel haters? What questions might they have about the film? Is it a rehashed Iron Man? Oh no. The film really does have its own story beats whilst avoiding originitis. The characters feel fresh and genuine. They feel lived in without trying to replicate the Robert Downey Jr. effect. Is the film desaturated? Or does it look ugly, as one clickbait vlogger likes to put it? No, the film has beautifully rich designs inspired by the work of Ta-Nehisi Coates and Brian Stelfreeze, along with bold, earthy colours inspired by African culture. Is the film subservient to setting up other Marvel movies? No, the film is self-contained, makes little to no reference to other Marvel superheroes, and comfortably runs in its own vibranium skin. In a cinematic universe where Wakanda has remained isolated from the rest of the world, it only makes sense that the characters wouldn't be name-dropping and making Avengers references left, right and centre. Has Marvel given us yet another weak, one-dimensional villain? At first, I would have said yes, but about halfway through the film, Ryan Coogler did something almost none of the other Marvel films do. It took the time to humanise Michael B. Jordan's villain, and at least give us some insight into his drive and motivations. It makes the final fight more personal and gives the ending a far more emotional arc. It's by no means Heath Ledger's Joker, but it's also, well, not Jared Leto's Joker. It's a villain with a purpose and desire that is motivated by relatable human qualities. Is this just another Marvel joke fest with characters constantly quipping whilst in near-death situations? For the most part, no. The first half of the film knows when to have a laugh and when to play it serious. The humour really works. In a full cinema, people were roaring with laughter, so you can't say the humour doesn't work. And for the first half of the film, it really does feel like the movie wasn't going to undercut serious moments or heroic moments with humour. Personally, I find that incredibly grating about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Excuse me. Gotta take a whiz.
But in the second half of the film, there is the occasional scene where the humour does undercut the moment and the gravity of the scene is just pulled right out from under you. This doesn't ruin the film, or even ruin the moment, it just undercuts the moment. Do we have, yet again, another bunch of underwritten female characters? Oh, hell no. As a matter of fact, they're probably the best thing in this film. From the great relationship between T'Challa and his sister Shuri, to the strong female warriors of Danae Gurira and Lupita Nyong'o, just dominating every scene that they're in. The Royal Guard costumes are just absolutely stunning to look at, and even more amazing to look at when they're actually working in uniformity. Black Panther really celebrates women as action heroes and formidable forces, which is probably the most refreshing thing to come out of this film. Overall, Black Panther takes some bold steps in creating a new world within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, filled with pride for African culture and creating a story that avoids some of the Marvel's more traditional... Filled with pride for African culture and creating a story that avoids some of Marvel's more traditional beats, Black Panther, much like its Rotten Tomato score, really does feel fresh. With a tight story that fills out the 2-hour and 14-minute runtime in a way that doesn't drag, we have a new great film as part of the Marvel Cinematic Canon. Now all that's left to hope for is the eventual Black Panther Meteor Man crossover. Black Panther gets 4.5 vibranium stars.
Let's have some fun.
The revolution will be live.